Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah, a couple times I ran into some devotees were talking about faults in people, faults in gurus, faults in spiritual leaders, maybe faults in Gaur Hari Das, faults in Prabhupada. Yeah, so it just kind of made me think. I wanted to have a little discussion about that. So anyway, you see the title, Material Imperfections versus Transcendental Empowerment. So when Jesus was here, 2,000 years ago, he was laughingly, seemed like he had that mood, laughingly saying, they criticized John the Baptist, who was just eating honey and living in the desert and eating honey, and then they're starting to people are criticizing him, Jesus, because he was eating and drinking with materialistic people, and they were calling him a glutton. And see, because that's just the world. The world is usually, in the world, mostly in this world, people are worldly. So they look at the worldly situation. They look at people in terms of the world. And they're looking for perfection as some kind of material perfection. It's just kind of natural. It's a natural person. That's why a lot of people, they try to look good in order to gain influence over others. They try to dress really nice, have good manners, try to appear materially perfect, and then people will trust them, believe in them. They'll get a good job. Basically how materially perfect one looks. So that's usually the standard. It's natural. Okay? But then it gets a little bit kind of a gray area when you try to put that standard on a person that is spiritually empowered. And actually we have this going on in our Sangha also, in our this is going on also. Hey, somebody's here. Welcome. Sometimes devotees you might see, they're coming. They're actually transcendentally powered. They have these spiritual emotions. They're manifesting. It shows you that the Lord is giving Himself, giving this transcendental empowerment, which is Himself. So when they chant, they feel ecstatic. And they're within their body, the temple of their body is manifesting transcendental empowerment. And people will think, well, and sometimes there may appear some material imperfections, and you think, oh, this person is not a good person. Maybe they're getting purified. So anyway, you don't see the heart of the matter, and the heart of the matter is this transcendental empowerment. So somebody was even doing that with Prabhupada today. Oh, you see, he wrote this, and actually, when I analyzed it, actually, there wasn't a real problem with it, but, it appeared that there was it made Prabhupada, but it was written like he was a sectarian, like a racist. But he didn't see, that Prabhupada always said he wasn't a racist. He said, oh, anybody in any condition, they can become devotees of the Lord. That was the essence. But anyway, this person found a fault and started saying, oh, you see, Prabhupada had this fault. And naturally, so many people will think, oh, wow, this is a fault. Prabhupada isn't a real spiritual master. He's a racist. See, they have this idea. Instead of looking at the empowerment aspect, instead of trying to find faults. Because even in liberated souls, even in Jesus, people found so-called faults. But it's just material. Even in Lord Shiva, there are stories in the Bhagavatam where people found faults with Lord Shiva. Daksha, number 1. And so anyway, was looking for some material perfection. He was thinking Lord Shiva didn't dress nice, didn't take a bath. See, so he's looking at, oh, this Lord Shiva is a faulty person. See, looking at materially. Instead of was Lord Shiva transcendentally empowered? He was. He was a powerful demigod, empowered by the spiritual potency. So generally, the problem is basically people don't know how to look at transcendental empowerment. What are the symptoms of that? Like, what are the qualities in a transcendentally empowered person? So anyway, that's the kind of stuff we're learning and teaching here at Lord Chaitanya's Amazing Grace Place, because it's needed. Otherwise Vaishnavas, they commit offenses against spiritually empowered persons, and because they don't know the real standard, nobody's teaching them. See, offenses, a fence. See, you create a fence between yourself and your soul and the transcendental vibration of empowered persons. And that's a problem, and that's why a lot of people don't get the shelter. See, when you develop faith in a transcendentally empowered person, you get that same transcendental energy that is in them, emanating from them. But finding fault with them, it's like it bounces off of you and you don't get the shelter. So those who develop faith in a real empowered guru, spiritual master, a real associate of, like in our line is Lord Chaitanya, Radha and Krishna, a real associate of these transcendental personalities here in this world, you easily get the benefit of that transcendental association, which is wonderful. There's so many benefits. It's so amazing. One being feeling this spiritual potency, which cleanses you inside in a way that nothing else can, purifies you, makes you feel happier than any happiness you can get in this world by pleasing your material senses. It causes this spiritual awakening that enables us to taste this nectar of immortality, of relishing what's called in our line transcendental ras, spiritual mellows, the mellows of devotion, a lot of words, love of God. And this becomes the sustaining force in a devotee's life. See? So anyway, having a spiritual master, this is the kind of stuff you need to learn. People in our Sangha, some still need to learn these lessons. But those who do, you can see, you know, whoever's understanding this, they stay steady, ecstatic, without falling on their face. So if you're falling on your face, or you're sometimes happy and sometimes still materially sad, that's usually what it is. You're committing an offense, putting up a fence between you and that person. You're judging them in a mundane way when they're actually transcendentally empowered. See, the way I look at it, the way the Lord has showed me, is if he chooses somebody and they manifest the symptoms of the Lord living inside their bodily temple, you know, in their heart, manifesting the symptoms of the ecstasy of that, the emanation of that. See, these kinds of qualities, the ability to understand transcendental subject matters, to relish them, even though they may have some external apparent fault. If you judge them on that fault, then that's a mundane judgment, basically, and it's a big hindrance in the person's being able to relish these transcendental mellows. See, so this is really important, especially for the new people coming, because if you look at it like that, you're judging things in a materialistic way, and you'll remain on a materialistic level. And then only looking for, you're only looking, oh, this person is a good person because they manifest good qualities, you know. and this person is a bad person because sometimes they manifest abrasive qualities, or qualities that are seemingly material when they're actually just going through purification. Okay, so if you judge them like that, then it's a problem. It's a problem feeling oneself part of the spiritual family. So if anybody has any questions or comments about this kind of stuff, I think it's important because it keeps coming across my desk here, my invisible desk. These kinds of things. It's a good thing to get clear about. So the idea is, look for the transcendental empowerment, and if Krishna, God, chooses that person to manifest his transcendental potency in them, see them by that judgment. Judge them. Your judgment is just now, because if the Lord chooses somebody and to live in their body, why should we have a problem with that? Why should we look for their faults if he's not looking at their faults? And anyway, in due course, those persons will get purified anyway. So a lot of people make this mistake. That's why you basically need Transcendental Advanced Devotees Association to help people get through that. Bhakti Vinod used to talk about this. He wrote a letter to his son, Bhakti Siddhanta, and said that Brahmins were committing offenses against Vaishnavas by basically judging them. It was apparently they were criticizing real Vaishnavas, looking for some material imperfection in them or something. because like we know, a lot of Brahmins work, to look good. They do purification ceremonies, and if a person, they may not be able to uh, identify a person that is getting spiritually purified and may not have to do those kinds of ceremonies. Anyway, that's probably another topic. I think we'll leave it like there, leave it at that. Whoever's here, thank you for watching. I don't know who's here because I don't see any comments. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.